Three for the Money is brought to you by the Trend Center app. This is the best tool for sports betting research. The Trend Center app, you can test betting systems from the past 20 years, explore thousands of existing trends and systems from top betting experts, choose from hundreds of filters to test different systems for each sport. Save these trends and get notified when their systems have games. Download the app and use our code TFTM for 15% off a premium membership after a 2-day free trial. Okay. We're here. We're back. It's Three for the Money. New episodes every Thursday. Not last week. Last week, things were happening in the Three for the Money universe, which I'll touch on here later. But yes, a lot of things have happened since our last interactions with our thousands and millions of fans, the millions and millions of fans. But yeah, like the Pacers ended up losing. We'll touch on that here shortly. The NHL draft happened. The NBA draft happened. I don't have anything to say on that. Apparently, NBA free agency was either today or last week. I don't know. And then NHL free agency happened. So we have some things to talk about. But first, I mean, I got to throw it to Chris here. I mean, the reason that we weren't able to record last week was Chris was like, "Oh, going on vacation." I was like, "All right, going on vacation." I knew what it was about. Chris, how about you fill in the millions
And millions.
of fans on your vacation?
Happy to. Well, we'll start out at the very beginning of the story. The night before we left on vacation, the Pacers lost Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and quite possibly the most heartbreaking fashion imaginable. But we'll get into that. So then, a few hours later, got up and drove down to Florida for vacation with my lovely, at the time, girlfriend. And now,
Ooh.
a few days later, yeah, pop the question. We are now engaged to be married. So,
Let's go.
yeah.
Let's go, bro.
Join the crowd.
Yeah, about a lot of there are some people saying about time, and I didn't appreciate those snarky little comments, even though they may be kind of correct, but it's what
Who
it
was
is.
it?
I'm
Call
not
him out.
gonna dox someone.
Give one name.
Full address. I don't know. I have to go back through the Instagram comments, but then but yeah, so yeah, that it wasn't all bad. But yeah, that was big. That was the reason we did not record last week. So sorry about that. But
It's
yeah,
all right. Shout
think
out to Chris.
yeah, shout out to me. I'll take it.
Shout out to
But yeah,
Chris.
things going pretty well over here. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah. Sean, how are we doing?
I'm great, but I really want to get into the story of the night you got engaged. Will and
All
I
right.
were chilling downstairs watching TV. Uh, Chris replies or sends a message in our like friend group chat and just says, "Did it," with a picture of him proposing. And Will and I had this debate for maybe 10 minutes. And please, Will, go into what you wanted to say.
So first there was a look. I looked at Sean and we were like, "Oh, he did it." And then there was the look like you know what we want to do here. You
What
know
do we
what you know
what
what
do
we
we
want
say?
to do. And I was like, dude, he just said did it, period. Dude, I feel like I gotta say cool. And that's it. And just keep it at that. And then I was like, dude, I can't do that. That was just like I really wanted to say it, but it felt like a dick move, but also it would have been on brand. But I didn't want anyone to call me out about it.
I would have
The
thought it was very fun. Like if I saw if that was, especially if it was like the very first one, just cool. I would have thought that was very funny.
and that's what we were going for, but like people were just firing off like so fast. Like I've never seen people reply to that group chat faster,
Yeah,
honestly.
I was pretty surprised. Honestly, I was like, half these people probably have this thing muted because we never really use it that much
Yeah.
anymore. So yeah, when everyone started replying, it's like, oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
And then it was just off to the races. And then it just like Will and I, he was like, should I say it? Should I say it? And I was like, you should say it. And then it was like he was like typing. I was like, no, don't say it. Don't say
I was
it.
like, no,
Because
don't
like
say
it
that.
just kept going. People just kept congratulating you. And I was like, this makes you look like a dick, like a
Yeah,
little bit to others. But I think Chris would think this is funny.
I would have thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
yeah. If
Cool.
you would have shown your
Not
bride
even
to
like
be,
a hey,
I don't
just
think
kidding.
that would have. If you would have shown your bride to be that, I don't know if she would have taken too kindly.
I don't know if I would have
Which
showed her
was more
that
what I
one.
was thinking about,
Yeah.
honestly. So
Uh, I I proposed neat.
neat
Just a
also would have
quick
been
Just
neat.
neat.
Neat
is
exclamation
Just
point.
say yeah question mark. Not
so.
everything's about you, man. Yes, so
Been
So,
engaged for over a year.
yeah.
Now everyone's doing it. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I
the trendsetter.
Trend Center. Shout out the Trend Center. But Chris, I do want to ask. This might lead to nothing, but it does kind of look like in the picture you have this face, like like perhaps there's maybe a story.
Yeah, okay.
It
There
doesn't have
is.
to be lovey-dovey gushy, but
It's not really. So
I knew it. I knew it.
yeah. Um,
I knew there
so
was a story.
we got there Monday morning or midday, or mid morning, whatever. And that night she was like, let's go walk on the beach, like sunset and all that. Like, okay. I wasn't planning on doing it this night. It was gonna be it was a couple days later. But like, okay, cool. We go walking. We see two, and what could have been a third proposal. The third one could have been. It looked like it was happening further away, so we couldn't
Jesus
really tell.
Christ.
There was two literally within 50 yards of us.
Where did you guys go?
It was like right next to Panama City Beach. My aunt and uncle have a house down there, so
30A?
around there, yeah.
Okay.
But so yeah, two proposals just right off the bat. And I was like, man, that's kind of annoying, but whatever. And then after what looked like the third one was happening, I was like, all right, let's go. This is I can't do this anymore. So we're walking back and like we're walking down the walkway between the beach and like the street. And the one of the guys, I don't know which one, had set up like these like note card like sign things like to my darling whoever the hell and all this lovey-dovey shit. And then I was like, man, fuck this guy.
Right.
Like before I was just a little annoyed, and then I was like, man, this guy's taking the piss out of it. So a couple of more days go by and we go out to eat. I was like, okay, we're gonna do it this day. We go out to eat, and then I was wanting to do it on the beach at sunset because that's romantic and shit. And we're leaving the restaurant. She's like, hey, I want to stop off for a wine slushy. I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, well, there's a place that has them like right over here. It'll take like 5 minutes. I was like, fine, whatever. Getting into this parking lot of this place was a nightmare. There's just people crossing the street just at will, no regard for anybody else. So it took a long time to get this damn wine slushy. So then I'm like booking it back to the house to like actually get out to the beach. I was so stressed out, like getting there, like getting out to the beach. I was like, shit, I don't even really know what I'm gonna like say. I hadn't really thought about. I was just worried about getting here. So I go to like,
Never thought it would get this far.
yeah, really, one of her friends happened to be like on vacation with her family, like 30 minutes away. So she came over and she was one of those taking pictures. And she was like, "Hey, let me get a picture." And I was like, "Okay, doing it now." And we took a picture and I looked at her. She was like, "Hey, how many proposals do you think we're gonna see tonight?" And she was like, "What?" And I started to pull it out of my pocket. And then in typical Chris fashion, I couldn't get the fucking thing out of my pocket. So I was like struggling for a little bit. She thought I was joking. She was like, "No, no, you're dumb. You're dumb. We're not doing this." She started to kind of like
Uh,
walk away. And I was like, "No, like, wait, for real." Like, and she was just looking
so
at me.
hold on,
Yeah.
it's
So
stuck.
yeah, she was like, "No, you're dumb." I was like, "No, this is real." Just so I got it out and got down the knee and asked her and everything, and she just kept going like, "Wait, what, how, what?" And then eventually I was like, "I'm gonna need like an answer here." And she was like, "Oh, yeah." And I think that was the moment that was captured in the picture was me being like, "Well, like."
Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah,
it it was
Okay.
a very stressful like
sure.
30, 40, 45 minutes getting out there. But yeah,
That's
it
funny.
was it was fun.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
Well, bro, at least someone got a ring. Am I right?
Yeah, uh, I didn't get one, but Patience did get one. I didn't get one, but yeah, she got one. So guess that's all that matters.
Yeah.
In the grand
Silver
scheme of
lining.
life.
But okay, so the context for the did it message that I sent when we were walking to the beach, my phone kept going off. I was like, "What the fuck is going on now?" And I look, and it's like my family group chat. Well, it's just my mom and my sisters. My dad's not in it for whatever reason, but they
Mark
knew.
cannot be bothered.
No, he can't. He probably honestly would never respond to anything in it anyway. So, but so that they knew I was doing it that night, and they were like we're waiting, like come on, and I was like fucking 2 seconds, but I didn't want to like say anything. So while like they were like Kelsey and her friend were like, "Oh, we did, he did a yay." I just quickly fired off a text to them, was like, "Did it." No picture or anything with that, just did
Oh,
it.
no picture.
Yeah. And they were like, "Well, like, come on." I was like, "Fucking chill." So that was like I was like, "Oh, that was actually kind of funny." So that's when I sent to the group message with the actual picture. I just did it.
That's very Chris fashion, you know.
Yeah.
That's very you to just like when I got that, I was like, yeah, that's hell yeah.
I
Just
That's
between
contemplated
Chris.
dudes.
I
Yeah.
contemplating just not saying anything, and then like next time we all hung out, she's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, she's engaged, or we're engaged." But
Hey, that lady over there, she's engaged.
to me,
To me, Chris. Uh all right. There's that.
enough of that
Well,
lovey-dovey shit.
well,
Yeah.
Chris, now you don't have to accidentally send PS5s to our house before you get engaged. We all know that was a farce. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't bought anything off eBay since I lived at the house. I accidentally
That part
put
was true.
that was not true.
That
I
part was that
refuse to
first part
believe.
was true, but the other part was like she's gonna flip out if she just sees that sitting on our doorstep before I get it.
Uh, when you drop it off, when they drop it off, can you just bring it inside? Yeah, bud, we got you. You know we had your back though, you
Oh,
know.
I knew it,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But
couldn't let her see my
you didn't
car
have
flip
to
on
you didn't have to
25.
lie to us. You didn't have to lie to us about it, but
Well, I had to believe it myself. So it was the more times you
sure.
say it,
Sure.
Yes.
And also that is a paper trail, so
exactly, can't leave any
okay.
evidence.
We can't be Ronald Reagan and just leave, you know,
Bodies.
bodies and physical evidence and audio and whatever. I don't know how Watergate really worked,
That was
to be honest.
Nixon, by the way.
Oh, it was Nixon. My bad. Whatever. Who cares?
All right. Well, now's as good as time as ever to give Chris's end of season Pacers breakdown. Hopefully he doesn't break down.
I'm I mean, that is like the worst way to watch your team lose.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, whatever.
Sorry. No, it was a stupid joke. Sorry.
I
Oh,
got it.
Continue.
Yeah, no.
oh. No, I got it. But anyway. Um, but yeah, that was probably the most painful loss I've really, I don't want to say most painful, top two, three most painful loss I've ever experienced as a sports fan. That was just, I would have rather lost on just like a buzzer beater. But to lose because your best player snaps his Achilles after hitting three threes. So like he was clearly like he was feeling it. This was shaping up to be like an all-time game 7. And then it was just gone in the blink of an eye. And then it was like we were up at half. So like, hey, maybe. They were saying like on the panel, was like if there's any team who could pull this off, it is the Pacers. And I was like, shit, it's possible. And then the second half happened, and it was just like, okay, the Thunder, they reset, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna dog walk these guys. And it was pretty much anytime TJ McConnell touched the ball, just swarm him because nobody else is moving when he has the ball. That was fucking infuriating. Whenever TJ McConnell would drive the lane, everybody would just stand there, like, all right, well, he's going to do something awesome. And then it was just like 4 guys would just crash in on him, and then he couldn't do anything. So he turned the ball over like 5 times. But it was just very depressing. And then next season's gone too. So
Why is next season gone?
because I mean, he tore his Achilles, he's not going to play.
Oh yeah. I guess
And
it's a
then
shorter off season.
yeah, I mean, even if he tore it at the end of the regular season, I mean that's like a year recovery.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then Miles Turner walked in free agency today, so I don't know. I guess you could spin zone that, say it clears up some cap space because he signed $100 million deal, so clears up
Mm-hmm.
cap space, making they can get someone to like be competitive this season, and then can be like a Batman and Robin with Halliburton when he comes back. But yeah, it was just soul crushing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that was a rough one, man. Like it was they were neck and neck pretty much. Like I mean, the injury happened like halfway through the first quarter or at the end
Yeah,
of the first quarter or something like
it
that.
was like, yeah, 5 minutes left in the first quarter. So yeah, it was pretty much halfway.
Yeah, and like they kind of were still neck and neck with them in the second quarter.
They had the
And
lead at halftime.
yeah, and it just I mean, I don't want to say
It,
they couldn't do it. But I mean, just because like I mean, they can't do it without Tyrese.
you can't
Like
win a game like that without your best player. Unless someone had just stepped like Siakam or like anybody else had just stepped up and gone nuclear, which is very hard to do against a team as good defensively as Oklahoma City. But yeah, you just can't win a game 7 like that without your star player, especially when he gets like a season ending injury, obviously season ending at that point, but a very bad injury right at the beginning of the game. It just takes the air out of the whole stadium or out of the arena. So it was awful, man. And I'm just texting with my dad the whole time. She's like, this sucks. It's like there's like
this is the
nothing to really
worst.
be. It's like you can't be mad at anyone. You're just mad and sad, and you don't have anywhere to direct it. And you're just like, this fucking sucks, man.
Yeah, it's nothing you can really get mad about. It's just like you're sad about it. You can be
Yeah.
sad about it. There's no one really to blame here. But yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this past year was like the had the most Achilles tears in the NBA, and like which is insane.
I mean, Tatum tore his in the second round.
Yeah, like it's just like why is this happening? Why is this a coincidence? I don't know. It's kind of a lot for a coincidence.
I think they're gonna shorten the season at some point to like I don't know, 68 games or maybe even 70. I don't know, but that's what a lot of people were set like on Twitter were saying. And like it's like, well, Halliburton tore his, Tatum tore his. Like, just shorten the damn. We don't need 82. Like 70 would be fine. And I'm no like NBA junkie, so I'm like, yeah, sure. If it's gonna prevent my favorite player from tearing his Achilles in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, I'm all for shortening this season.
Yes, for sure. Um, cool. I mean, that's all I got with NBA. I mean, I know free agency was today, but
Did you
or
see?
last week.
Hold on, let me get the name right. I'm pretty sure it was Malik Beasley. Um, is being investigated for gambling. Like,
Oh, yeah, I did see
yeah,
that.
and you look at some of
One
these
of us.
videos. Look at some of these videos. It's kind of damning evidence. There's
I didn't do a deep dive, but what did it
I'll send
entail?
I'll send I saw I'll send it here in a second. I saw a thing on Instagram. It was like a kind of a compilation of it. There was one, he was playing the Pacers and he was defending, I don't remember who it was, the point guard, whoever it was, and just let him blow right. Not even tried to play defense. It was like when the point guard went by him, he wasn't even looking at the player. Like, he was still looking forward. So it was that. There was a potential game winner he could have had with the Pistons. I think it was in the playoffs this year. Yeah, it had been this year. Um, he was wide open to get the shot. Like, it was a perfect pass, just bounced off his hands out of bounds. Um, there was another one where he was playing for Minnesota. I think this was 21. Um, they were down. So whoever they were playing were shooting free throws. Made them both to go up by 9. Line was 8.5. Timberwolves plus 8.5. He got the ball and just sprinted down the court and laid it in. And you kind of see that in college. I don't know if you see that a whole lot in the NBA. Again, I don't gamble on it a ton, so I don't really know. But I don't feel like you don't really. And especially like, again, it could just be knowing, like, looking at through this lens of he's being investigated. They showed him like on the lot, like on the what the free throw lane when he was like right before the guy shot it, and he had like a look of determination, like, I'm getting this and I'm sprinting that way and laying this in.
We're
So
covering this game.
yeah, I mean, never want anyone to be like banned for life from their profession, but they look good.
Yeah. Hmm. That's tough. I did see Damian Lillard today is he's getting cut, waived, something like that.
Yeah, the Pacers like waived him, and I think he had,
The
correct me if
Bucks.
I'm, yeah, no, it's with the Bucks, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think he had like some generational buyout. Like, they're going to be paying him for a long time.
Yeah, I
Let me,
know. I think that ESPN said he had like $113 million left or something.
yeah, that was it. I think Windhorse said that's what.
Yeah.
Why?
That's beyond me. That doesn't I mean, I don't know. With the NBA, I mean it's like it's a salary cap, but like kind of not really. And it's I don't know. Maybe it's because when you win a championship, you're kind of I could be talking out of my ass here, but when you win a championship, you know, kind of you want to keep up uh perspective, I guess. And when you have a player that isn't that great, I mean, the Bucks didn't make the playoffs, did they?
They got bounced in the first round by the eventual conference champions, Indiana Pacers.
Okay. Um, yeah, and so you feel like you can afford the luxury tax because you are, you know, we win a championship, and it's like, all right, you are, you know, not to say they're one of like a big market, to say, but maybe you start acting like it. I don't know. Who's to say?
They also, I mean, this is like the time, like, what are they going to do with Giannis? Like,
Hmm.
it's
Did any
kind of
of
like,
what I said make sense?
oh no, it did.
Okay.
I agree with what you said, but I was also just adding on to that. Like Giannis is like he might walk. Like so, it's like
Hmm.
yeah, they kind of need the money now, but you're fucked long term
Hmm.
if you sign him to a. It would be an insane deal, but if you sign him to that, you just gave Turner because Miles Turner signed with them for $107 million over 4 years, and you're gonna have to pay him for God knows how long. Damian Lillard, that being, um, that's you're kind of fucked. Like if you have Giannis, like if you do re-sign Giannis, who's your number two? Is it Miles Turner? Like they don't really have anyone else.
Do they still
So
have Chris Middleton?
no, they traded him to the Wizards last year, 2 years.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's playing. Well, he was playing with the Wizards this season. I don't know what his contract situation. I don't know if he's a free agent right now or what, but
Hmm.
yeah. So it's pretty much Giannis. If they bring him back, it's Giannis, Miles Turner, and who the hell? Like, I don't know who else they'll have or will be able to get.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, that's tough. I did see that Jaren Jackson Jr., I think he's started like they're getting ready to sign him to a supermax.
He got a big old deal.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how much,
I think
but
I saw the notification while I was driving, and I think it was like 240 million.
yeah,
And it's like,
five
Jesus.
5 years, 240 million.
Yeah, I think that's the supermax
I
deal.
think so. Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of. I mean, he's a very good player, but it's kind of surprising that like he would get a super max.
yeah, I think because you can't lose him, and I can't remember when they re-signed Ja, but Ja doesn't have a supermax,
Yeah,
which is good, for them. Um, I
and
mean, I guess
they traded Bane, so
right,
I guess you kind of had to you had to give him that. Which
right,
I feel like they traded Bane knowing they were going to do that. So
right. I don't know if Bane was up for an extension. Who's to say?
no way of knowing.
Uh, sorry, I'm looking at how this Dame contract works. They're going to be paying out his contract $113 million over the next 5 years. But if my math is right, that's like 22 and a half mil a year.
Hmm.
That's 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 some scratch, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like you might as well. I mean, I also saw that he also tore his Achilles in the second round of the playoffs this year.
Hmm.
Um,
Damian has not had a
oh
good run.
yeah, I forgot because he was hurt, and then yeah, he did that. So yeah, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, it's I mean he's getting a shit ton of money, so I guess I'm not, yeah,
but yeah,
never
I mean
feels it.
he's 34, I think.
Yep.
Let's
He's
Yeah, he's
see.
up there.
he's up
He's up
there.
there.
He was on Portland for such a
Man,
long
that dude's
time.
old as shit as a 31-year-old.
Um,
I couldn't play professional basketball right now. Just just saying.
right. Um, I'm trying to think of other
That's
NBA
crazy.
things.
It's well, it's just ironic that the Damian Lillard thing. It's I mean this kind of like deferred payment kind of stuff happens all the time, but it's just to happen on today, July 1st, which is Bobby Bonilla Day. Um, he gets his annual $1.19 million from the New York Mets, despite not having played for them for about 30 years at this point.
Shout out.
Chase your
Legend of the
bag.
game.
Ultimate bag chaser, dude.
62 years old, still getting checks from an MLB team for
God
being
damn.
a player.
You should get an award.
I mean, it's
He should get
every
an award.
July 1st, it's a holiday.
I guess that is his award.
Is that
Um,
when like the cap resets for the MLB
I
or
think so
like what how does
because
that work?
I don't know exactly why it's on this day, but I think all of these kind of payments happen because I saw something. Max Scherzer got paid I forget how much it was, but pretty good chunk of change from the Nationals today, and he hasn't played there in many years. So
Hmm.
I think it with the MLB, it must be the end of the fiscal calendar, maybe. But
That
yeah,
makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
I
Okay.
do want to briefly touch on another NBA thing that I heard about that was really funny. After after Durant got traded to the Rockets, um I believe it was Emmanuel Acho tweeted out um just something that really doesn't even matter. It's like the legacy formula calculator thing, and it's like um championships divided by teams played for. And it's like, and you know, the higher your score, obviously, the bigger the legacy or something. Um, and like Kevin Durant's score quotations is like he's played for like five teams now with the Rockets. That makes five, and he's got two championships, and it's like that's not even a legacy score of one. So that's kind of funny. And then like Kevin Durant clapped back at him. I don't remember what he said,
I was
but
I pulled it up what you're saying because I wanted to find it exactly, and he replied to Emmanuel Acho's breakdown on whatever show he's on now. But it says, "quote According to the Kevin Durant's legacy formula that was created by the best labs at MIT, Emmanuel is the worst linebacker of all time. You sure you want to listen to this guy about greatness?"
yeah, it's just like one of those things where it's like you really got nothing else better to do.
I
Like,
love ever since Kevin Durant just stopped being a burner guy. Incredible Twitter follow.
yeah, godly people were just tearing into Emmanuel Acho,
Because he's
which
stupid.
it was, you know, it's fun. I'm not saying I'm not defending the guy. I
Yeah.
just think it's genuinely funny.
Anytime he has a take on something, usually people come out of the woodwork to be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like you're on like the fourth best show at Fox. Like, stop talking.
Yeah, I don't know. We're slowly getting into the sports talk where they make shit up.
Oh, there was a great one on Get Up the day after the NBA draft, or the first round of it at least. It is, are the Mavericks now the Thunder's biggest contender to come out of the West? They just had the number one overall draft pick. I know Cooper Flag could be amazing, but they're like Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. You never know. One of those is 19 years old. One of them is chronically injured. The other one is 30 years old and tore his ACL last year. They're going
But
to win 40 games max.
when you hear the names,
Oh, yeah.
it sounds enticing.
It sounds like a not terrible take if you don't think about it whatsoever.
That's all they know though,
Yeah.
is the name.
Yeah,
They
Just
pretty
don't
fire off
much.
like,
takes.
yeah.
But yeah,
Like,
we are getting into the like, hey, I got something to say. Why not say it season of the sports calendar?
oh, July.
Maybe don't say it.
Hey, we got NFL ball this month.
Technically,
We
We
do.
do?
Yeah, we do.
Hall of
When?
Fame game is
The
when
31st.
31st. Yep.
Hmm. All right.
The Lions and the Chargers.
Hmm.
Lions are 1.5 point favorites.
I'm gonna. What's the total?
I don't know. Can't remember.
Okay.
It's probably like 38.
I think that might be
Like,
high.
yeah.
I usually bet the under. Last year it went over and it sucked.
We're getting there. Is the point.
Oh no, you can. It's getting to the point where of the year where it's like, at least for me, have a few drinks, watch some college football highlights at like 10 o'clock at night kind of season.
Yeah. My TikTok knows that I miss just football. So it's been showing me a lot of like football highlights and
Mhm.
guess who this player is, and it's like that super distorted, like,
Yeah.
quarterback. I don't know. It's always fucking Joe Burrow for some reason, but it just is. Um, but yeah, my algorithm knows that I do miss just football in
I
general.
uh I do love those TikToks I get with it's like guess this offense and it's like everyone kind of lined up, but it's like they're all their like college teams
hmm
Hmm.
and like I really enjoy those and
Those
I
are
think
cool.
about those a lot. Um
A
whenever
Titans one popped up on my feed the other day because it had like Maryland tight end, um, Alabama receiver, and I was like, wait a minute, I think this is the Titans because like I can. There are a few Maryland tight ends, but I can't name that many. I was like Chig, Ridley, and then I forget. There's another. It wasn't like quarterback. Shit, what? Who was it? Oh, it was, I think they had Burks as wide receiver three because it was Arkansas, and I was
Mm.
like, that's
Mm.
wrong, but I think that's Traylon Burks.
Yeah. I mean, they're not wrong, but they're wrong. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I
mean, I
mean.
guess technically he's
Yeah.
maybe wide receiver three, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, Whatever.
made the
But
puzzle easier.
I I did have
yeah.
one of those pop up, and I knew it was the Titans immediately with Texas A&M at quarterback. I was like, oh, that's fucking Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
It was like a 2019 season, and I was like, wow, that was like the easiest thing I've ever seen. But
Okay. Moving on. The NHL draft happened and I have some things to say. Uh It happened over the weekend, and this is going to be incredibly niche, but I am going to say it. Much like my college hockey picks, takes, whatever. But the Nashville Predators, uh, they picked number 5 overall, and this was the highest draft pick that we have had in 10 years. And this was a real shot at getting a top line center, top line player, what have you. Um, or someone to just fucking help this godforsaken team. Um, and we had the number 5 overall pick. We were slated to take James Hagens, who went to BC last year, was a point per game player. Uh, but we didn't because he was supposed to have more of a breakout year this past college hockey season, and he didn't. And he's also like 5'10. So they decided not to take him, even though uh, previous to this year's college hockey season, he was slated to be the number 1 pick. And there he was at 5, and we didn't pick him, and we picked Brady Martin. Um, I am trying really hard to love this pick. I like the pick, but I don't love it. And I'm really trying to love it. Um, I don't know how much you gents have looked into this at all, or
Very little. I just know the guy was on his farm when we drafted him, and I was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." But then
which
I
I
saw,
thought was cool.
oh, I thought it was awesome, but I knew nothing about this kid. Like he could have been a scrub for all I knew. But then I saw people in the comments pretty much saying what Will was saying. I was like, "Oh, do we not like this guy?"
I
So,
uh
okay,
I saw that he was projected between the low single digits and the middle teens.
yeah,
Like, so taking him at 5 was a surprise.
yes, that was a bit of a surprise. It it kind of this is kind of my take on it, but we at that when you're that high in the draft, there's not really a clear cut like number 1 pick. Like I don't think like if the Islanders didn't really need a defenseman, they probably wouldn't have taken Matthew Schaefer first overall. Um, but so this draft is a little bit different than the other drafts. It's deep, but it's not like generational, I guess it would be the word. Um, so it felt like, all right, we're not going to take this James Hagen's kid because he could have done better his this past season and he didn't, and he's 5'10", and he's going to be a little bit more of a project. Or we take this Brady Martin kid, who's a center, or we take Porter Martone, who's a winger, but he is more like a power forward, but scores goals in like a lot, scores a lot of goals. This past season he had, and it was either it was it to my in my head it kind of came down to a tiebreaker to Barry Trotz, which was center or winger, because we're kind of getting the same player, just a different position. And I mean, we fucking need a center. So let's take the center. Um, and yeah,
So
I'm
just
conflicted, but he's a good player.
do you, I want to say you dislike him, but you're not completely sold on him because he's not the guy you thought we would get, or just because of who he is as a player?
I'm not completely sold because he is a Barry Trotz guy.
Mm, okay. Yeah.
And you know exactly what I mean, but when I say that, but for the folks at home, that kind of means his compete level is very, very high, which is good. You definitely want that. But when it comes to skill, he has. I mean, it's fifth overall pick. Like
Yeah.
really, I mean, like anywhere in the top seven, like that's you're gonna get a fantastic player. And Brady Martin is a fantastic player. Like he does almost everything. Truthfully, it's just his skill level at almost everything is less than just his general skill. If that makes sense. Um,
I know
and
exactly what you mean.
yeah,
Like when
yeah,
you say, I mean, when you said Barry Trotz, I was like, okay, he's a gritty guy. He's not. I mean, obviously fifth overall, he's a fantastic hockey player, but he's not like gonna blow you away with his skill. He's just more of a he's gonna compete his balls off every single day kind of guy, more so than an amazing on ice talent. Which he's gonna be theoretically he will be very good, but he's just more of
yeah,
a compete guy.
right. And I mean, dude, he scored 72 points in like 30 something games. Like that's incredible. Uh, and you know, I keep seeing these things online that like, you know, he was on the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and like the rest of their team was not that great, and he was able to have over 2 points per game uh a season. And so it's kind of like, well, it's good, you know. That's definitely something that I mean, he's a great player. Obviously he's a great player. It's just like, is he the right player? Um, and then if we're talking like who else could we have taken? That's a center. Roger McQueen was also there. Anaheim took him at
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, somewhere around there.
Did you see
Um,
his number for the
no.
Ducks that he
Oh,
chose?
it's
He chose
shit.
95
Yeah.
for
That's
Lightning McQueen.
Oh yeah, I
fantastic.
That's
did.
just
Yeah,
like, oh,
I
in
love this
Anaheim.
kid. I fucking
I
hate the
would
Ducks.
have
I
if
love this kid.
yeah, I know. I if we would have gotten him, I would have bought that jersey just for that reason.
1,000%.
Right.
He knew what he was doing, and I respect it. But
But Roger McQueen had
good
a
job.
back injury, so and it's kind of like I was listening to the radio a couple like a day or two before the draft, and I'm not going to shout out the radio guy because we don't like him. He's
Ugh.
kind of stupid, but he did make an excellent point when he said, "Have you ever met anyone that used to have a bad back?"
I think he said that. I mean, it's a fantastic point, but I think he said the same thing when the Titans drafted Caleb Farley.
And wow, he
Because
was
I
right.
Yeah,
was, yeah,
he was right.
because I didn't hear his quote on this, but I was going to say that. Like, have you ever met like you never say, "Oh, I used to have a bad back."
Nobody said that. Nobody
Yeah,
in the history
nobody's
of
ever,
time has ever said that.
even people that have had back surgeries. never say that.
Yeah.
So
So it's kind of like that's more of a gamble, even though he's a great player. So it's it it's like if we would have gotten Hagens, it would have been like, all right, this is our fucking guy. It might take him a little bit to make the team, but he's a skill player. And dude, name a skill player that has worked that we have drafted that has worked out. You can't do it because we haven't drafted one. We haven't drafted a forward that has scored over 65 points in the NHL, which is a depressing stat
Ooh,
to hear out
that's
loud.
really bad.
I don't know if you guys knew
David
that one.
Legwand,
Didn't score over 65 points.
rip. Okay.
I mean, that makes sense. He was on some really shitty teams.
I know, but I thought like just the longevity aspect. I thought he'd maybe
Yeah,
get one.
I get it. But
Yeah.
Hmm.
man, he was on some shitty teams.
Yeah.
No, he was. But
Yeah.
I just thought whenever like you think
I,
something like that, you go with the OG.
yeah, of course.
But that's that. I mean, that's wild. When you think about it, it's not shocking, but it's depressing.
Right. One Brady Martin does have a legitimate shot of making the team out of camp. I will say that he is probably one of the most like ready NHL players. Like if he doesn't make the team this year, he'll play 1 year max on the Greyhounds again, and then probably play with us,
Well,
which is great,
I
fast turnaround.
do you think it's more likely that, he'll play with the ads,
I
like to get called up this year?
in in my brain when I think about that, he wouldn't play with the ads. They don't allow 18-year-olds to play. Um,
Oh, okay. They don't?
Really?
no, the AHL
Oh.
doesn't allow. I think it's under 20 actually. Um,
Why?
Whoa.
because well, I mean
Is it
that's
just
a
for like the sake of juniors? Like you just want that to kind of I'm gonna say stay
so
alive because they would have no like it's doing fine, but you know what I mean?
so to yeah, I know exactly what you
Yeah.
mean. But to my understanding is the AHL for a long time, not so much in the past 10-ish years, but for a long time, like the AHL was like a fucking bruiser league. Like it wasn't for development, you know? It wasn't for it was like, dude, you better
It was like last chance kind of thing.
yeah,
I'm
better
gonna say
lace up your
last
boots
chance,
super
but
tight.
like yeah.
Yeah,
You ever seen
because
Goon?
Yeah, fantastic film.
Probably, probably like that.
it was more like Goon
Yeah.
than it has been. Um, but they haven't. I don't. I think it's under 20. I know that they definitely don't allow 18-year-olds. So but now it's more of a development league. So I don't even. Yeah, he would go back to the Sioux. But
Hmm.
uh, I do. He is built like a brick shit house. I don't know if you guys saw that. He is a farm boy through and through.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean,
Yeah, that was
uh,
weird.
mm,
I was
Hmm.
as soon as I did it, I was like, I should have done that.
like I think I've only seen him wear cutoffs, and he's looks just incredibly strong. Uh,
He reminds me so
hmm
much of just like a Letter Kenny character.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Um,
for that, I love. I love it.
yes,
Yeah.
I do love that. But you see his headshot, and you're like, there's no way this guy has anything in his head. This guy
Just
probably has rocks for brains.
So
Um,
as long as he knows puck, that's all that matters.
that is all that matters.
if he's got on ice IQ, that's what I care about. If he can't read, I don't care.
Right.
What do you need to read for? If you're a professional hockey player.
Do you know X? Do you know O? There we go.
Yeah. I
Uh,
was like, X? I was like, yeah, he's gonna give it to you. was like, what are you talking about?
All
Sorry,
right.
but
I'll I'll
I didn't know
uh
where you're going with that.
I'll end the Brady Martin chat with this Reddit post I found. Brady Martin leads draft eligible CHL forwards in stuff metrics, aka how many trackable events a player is involved in. And so it's kind of like when I zoom in, it's like, it's like an average of a lot of different metrics, and it's like shots blocked, drawn penalties as well. Takeaways, hits, puck touches, puck battles won, transitions, passes and shots. And those are like each like an average average per game. And he leads the NHL, the CHL in that in the stuff metrics. Um,
I like
which
stuff.
That's
is which is
Barry
good.
Trotz was loving that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Barry Trotz loves stuff.
He
He does love
he
stuff.
does.
Yeah. I will say a couple more things about the draft. Preds had 3 first round picks. The next first round pick that we had, we took Cam Reed, a defenseman, from the Kitchener Rangers. Very good, very good defenseman prospect. The problem is he is left-handed right now. Well, actually, at the time, we have Roman Yossi, Brady Shea, and so I guess Jeremy Lazon on the left, and it's like our left side is fantastic. Uh, and then we drafted this um, Cam Reed guy. He's left-handed. We don't need a left-handed defenseman. Also, not to mention, we have Tanner Mollendijk in the system. Probably might make the NHL team after training camp. He's been in the CHL for 2 or 3 years now, and he's one of the best defensemen in the league. Uh, Also left-handed, and so it's like, what are we doing here? And so, um, that one left me a little bit puzzled, and I was like, okay, we're fine. We're going to draft another player and a couple more picks, and that player will be a right-handed defenseman. Preferably, I had my eye on this guy, Chris. This guy, if we would have drafted him, would have been the first NHL player, if he would have made it to the team, first NHL player from Nashville,
Oh fuck, that'd be awesome.
You're not going
born
to
in
believe who it is.
born in Nashville, son of Vernon Fiddler, Blake Fiddler.
Yes. Preds legend Vern Fiddler.
Yes,
I
Preds
mean,
legend Vern Fiddler.
he is kind of a legend.
Hey, he scored that goal in the
Like,
playoffs. That
not
was
even joking.
unreal.
Yes,
Not even joking.
yes,
No,
and
but yeah, obviously legend. Like that guy
Trotz
and
rules.
coached his daddy, and
yeah,
then we didn't get him.
That would have been awesome.
it would have been awesome. Um, and also we need right-handed defensemen. We need them. And we drafted this. I already forgot his Riker Lee, a left winger, from the UHL. He's pretty good. That one's more of a project, I would say. But he does have that high end skill, which is cool. But it'll be a while before he makes the team. And so that was the first round, and then one last thing. Uh, I was paying attention to the second round because I knew we had 2 second round picks. And I was like, yo, Blake Fiddler is still on the board. The Predators pick was up. We had like the third pick of the second day of the draft. I was like, Blake Fiddler is on the board. He's 6'4". He's a right-handed defenseman. He's oh, he's a great player.
He's got to be gritty as hell. He's even like his dad.
He's more of a shutdown guy,
Love it.
which I mean, fuck, we need it. We need a good player.
We need a lot
We
of
need
things. We need a good.
We need a good player,
That's
okay?
hilarious.
But then we drafted another left-handed defenseman. So,
Where are we gonna put them all?
I don't
On the
know,
left.
dude.
Just don't even line up at right. It's just two left.
No.
Is there a rule against that?
Right side's weak, left side strong.
Yeah. And so the draft left me underwhelmed, I would say. Um, it's it's kind of like
Well, it's a draft.
it's
It's
a
gonna
draft and these guys are 18 years old. Maybe none of them will work out. I hope not. But
That's the spirit.
I mean, dude, it's so much different in like the NHL
Oh yeah.
where you're drafting 18-year-old kids. You really don't know if they're going to work out. Like it's and the draft, like a draft at any sport has always kind of been like that, but like with the NHL, like yo, they're so young. Like
It's NHL and MLB are both like you're drafting children, and you're like, we're not. We may not hear from our first round draft pick for another 3 years.
right,
And in baseball, it's kind of like if you're lucky.
right. So the draft left me puzzled, and I was like, okay, moving off the draft, I was like, all right, we're gonna get down to free agency. There's probably not. We're probably not gonna make another big splash again, but do something. And then a couple of days ago, that was actually yesterday, um, the Nashville Predators traded away Colton Sissons and Jeremy Lazon for Nick Hague on Vegas. Uh, and Nick Hague is a good player. We re-signed him to a deal. Chris, do you care to guess the handedness and position of Nick Hague?
I would assume that he is a left-handed defenseman.
He is a
Let's go.
left-handed defenseman. So I have no earthly idea what Barry Trotz is doing.
do
First of
we
all,
have do, do we have a right-handed defenseman on the team?
we have we have borderline AHLers on as our right side on defense, and it's I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't. This makes zero sense to me. We trade away Colton Sissons, who's been the backbone of our penalty kill
God, I
for
love that
so fucking long,
guy.
and we just give him away. Well, we didn't give him away. We got a good player.
Yeah,
There's not, it's, don't get it twisted. We got Nick Hague's a great player. Uh, but like
and we need a good player.
we need a good player, but like at the right spots, brother. Like
Well, I mean, what do you think about Roman Yossi's like injury, his diagnosis?
Mm,
What I can't remember what it was called.
it's called POTS.
yeah.
Yeah, POTS.
Um, essentially, it's like a kind of in simpler terms, they get when they stand up or move a lot, they get really lightheaded.
Hmm.
Uh,
I get that like every
Good thing
day.
you don't do that a lot in hockey.
yeah, and so, um, but
Two funny jokes
upon
said at the same time.
upon kind of I know someone with POTS and kind of what she went through and what I kind of looked up. It's kind of like if you manage it well, if you take your medication, if you eat right, if you know exercise, it's not too much of a big deal. Um, but I will say, you know, he's not getting any younger, and that's definitely going to make things harder.
he,
So
I mean, and he always plays like a fuck ton of minutes.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah.
that could be kind of why we got Haig. Maybe just roll three pairs a little bit more rather than having
Mhm.
Yossi do everything. So that's a good point, Sean. But the Nashville Predators did sign Nick Perbix today,
I did see that.
right-handed defenseman.
There we go.
Go.
He's a
Here
He's a
we
good
come, Stanley Cup.
Uh,
he's a good player.
he's a fine player.
Yeah.
Yes, he's good and fine. He's fine. Um, so he's competent. So but that's really all we can ask for right now, which is a sad thing to say, um, but yeah, that's Nashville Predators talk. I another weird thing about the draft, and then we'll move off from the draft. I watched pretty much the whole first round, and the first pick happened. The Islanders picked Schaefer, and Schaefer like his mom had a battle with cancer and she passed, and then like they were like they picked him, and then they had a special jersey for him with the cancer ribbon on it, and then they brought him over to like a Zoom call thing, and he had like a Zoom like impromptu kind of chat with the Islanders front office, and it was like super nice, super heartwarming, super great. And then they just like kept doing it with each and every pick. So that got really weird, and the first round took like 5 hours. It didn't take 5 hours; it took like four. But it was dragging, dude. It was rough. Like the four pick goes, and it's the Utah Mammoth. They pick their team, they pick their player. They do the Zoom thing, and I'm clamoring to see who we're about to pick, and then we pick the farm kid who's not even there. Uh, ESPN or whatever fucking channel it was on, didn't even show a single highlight. Like fair weather NHL fans, like if you're a Nashville Predators fan, you're like, hey, who are we gonna pick? And then we pick this kid. It's like, oh, okay, well, what? Show me some highlights. Didn't show a single highlight. Much like Cam Ward got overshadowed by the trade with Jacksonville Jaguars to get that second pick. Um, and they were just talking about that the whole time. They were just talking about how Brady Martin was on the farm, and that no no highlights, no nothing. I was like, what the fuck is this? And he doesn't get a Zoom call with Barry, and I'm like, what is happening right now?
There's
I-
choring to do.
yeah, I saw that like little. It was like right after Brady Martin gets drafted. It's like a tweet, and it's like just the clip of Wayne from Letterkenny goes, well, back to Charin, and I'm assuming that's kind of just what happened, which is funny and kind of cool.
But
But
also, I want to see my players' highlights when they get drafted.
yeah, I want to know. Show me something cool. Show me why should I be excited? I don't live on a farm,
I don't care about that
so
shit.
yeah. So all right, I'll shut up. Excuse me.
I have
Um,
a hockey question.
okay.
Um, what are the odds McDavid gets traded this year?
Slim to
Um,
none, maybe.
it depends
I,
on
I
I
I don't really see him moving, but
I mean,
anything's possible, I
if
guess.
he's
But
not if he's not going to resign, which I mean, why wouldn't you? You just went back to back cup finals. Like
is his
you
deal
should stay
already
with that
up?
team. Yeah, he's a free agent after this year.
Mhm. Yep. So there's two I've heard people talk about this. There's two kind of things to think about when you're talking about McDavid possibly moving. And that's, one, uh when you're trying to show him like, hey, you need to stay, like, you know, by signing free agents, and then a lot of people are saying, well, like, you don't have to kind of blow your wad here. You can make a trade at the trade deadline, get more value out of it, get a player that, already has term where you don't have to overpay someone for what they do. And so it's like, okay, there's a little more kind of value when you do it that way. You could probably get a better deal um, by trading something rather than just throwing a money bag at someone. So there was that, and then another kind of thing to think about is McDavid's not going to get really a better shot anywhere else. Like when you think about who he's currently playing with in Leon, it's like, okay, you're only really getting an upgrade if you go to Colorado or like Toronto. And like,
Essentially, if you ring chase.
right. And with what you're getting paid, that's just not going to happen. That's not how the NHL works. Um, and so it's kind of like, yeah, he could leave, but why would you? You know, they've already established something. Like they have really good players. Like they traded away Corey Perry, so now if they go to the final again, they won't
They'll
They
lose.
might
win.
win.
Right.
They
Yeah.
won't lose.
They
Did
won't
they trade him
lose.
away? I thought he was a free agent. I thought he re-signed, or I thought he signed somewhere else today.
He did. He signed with LA.
All right,
So he
LA
didn't
to
get
the
traded
cup.
away.
All right, let me bet that real quick.
Did I say traded?
I thought so.
I
I
think he
could.
I don't
did,
know.
but he's no longer on the team.
Yeah,
He's
he's
not
no
there
longer on this.
anymore.
Okay.
That's the important thing. So
Right.
now, and so it is kind of like a why would you? What you can't really get on a better team like with like so they already have Leon. They have. I mean, if Zach Hyman was still on the team, like was didn't get injured, there's a possibility that they could have won. Like he's such a driver on that line, on that first line. So it's incredibly like difficult to say, but also at the same time, like why would you leave? Like it's like with the cap going up as well. It's like, dude, throw him a bag, you know, another bag, I guess, or maybe try and talk to him, be like, hey, if you take, maybe just like a little bit more instead of like a lot more, we can like get more players that are good. So
I feel
there's
like
that.
if I'm the GM, or if I'm just like, if we want to keep him here, we gotta get a fucking goalie.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that's got to be step one. I feel like because I was listening to Ryan Whitney's interview on TMT today, and he was saying this is the second year in a row the Oilers starting goaltender has been benched in the playoffs. Like
Multiple times.
you don't win cups with that. So it's like you got to get like a cup winning caliber at least goalie.
Hmm.
I feel like that has to be step. Like even if like it wasn't a contract year for McDavid, you should be doing that.
Right. Um, it did kind of seem like they're kind of doing things on the fly, when they were building the team, at least over the past couple
Mhm.
of years. So, um, and it's also like incredibly tough to predict how goalies are going to play. I mean, like you look
Oh
at Connor
yeah,
Hellebuck, like he's amazing in the regular season, but he takes a shit in his pants in the playoffs.
go get
Um,
Bennington. I mean, just and don't play him until the playoffs.
right. And
I
so
mean,
it's like hockey players will talk like, the postseason is almost a
It's
totally
a,
different season. Like you
yeah,
can
it's a different animal.
yeah, you can rewrite your regular season by like just doing the like showing up in the playoffs. Like it's it's there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. So who's to say?
yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
but I did not know Corey Perry signed with the Kings today, so I will be putting half a unit on them at plus 1,000 to win the West next season.
Jesus Christ.
I
That
mean,
seems like a waste of money, honestly. I mean,
how do you
That seems
not?
like a that seems like a great investment.
He
uh,
all he
no.
does is win conference championships.
He signs with good teams and then makes it
The
And
Canadians, I don't know if you could call them.
Okay, he got lucky. He got lucky with the Canadians in that bubble.
Yeah.
He got lucky with the Canadians, but with the Stars and the Lightning, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't win it that year.
Yeah, and
I think
then
so.
Wait.
I saw
I
this
think you're.
today.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay,
We
we
could-
got it.
We're
No,
running out of
well,
time,
two
but we can
seasons
call
of the Oilers, the Stars, the
We're running out of time
yeah,
here. We can call
okay,
it.
2 seasons of the Oilers, Lightning, Canadians, Stars, 5 years in a row.
Kings are
I
next
mean,
up.
That seems like a great investment.
he didn't have a Stanley Cup final appearance from 2020 to 2000, from 2007 to 2020.
Like I guess
13 years.
I got to ride the hot hand though, man.
Yeah.
I don't
This is
know.
not a
I
coincidence.
feel like 5 is a good number to end on. It's a great middle of the pack number where it's not going to happen again.
But just think. We're
I am
here.
thinking. I'm thinking correctly.
We're
You are
here a
thinking
year.
wrong.
We're here a year from now, and the Los Angeles Kings are lose in 7 in the Cup final, and we're sitting here not betting it. Like motherfucker, it
All
was
right.
right there.
Chris, if the Kings make the Stanley Cup finals and lose,
Yeah,
I
they
will
have to
do
lose.
something that you want me to do right now.
I have to pick right now.
Yeah, well, no. But
Oh.
I'm saying whatever you want me to do. If you want me to spend 24 hours at a Waffle House or do some type of punishment, I will do that.
All right.
But I'm very confident that the Kings will not make the Stanley Cup finals.
I'll take that bet. I'm also
Okay.
going to put half a unit on them to do it. They're not that. They are 5th in the odd on to win the West on FanDuel
Kings are a good team.
behind the Stars, Avs, Oilers, and Golden Knights.
Those are 4 better. Those are 4
don't get me
far
wrong.
better teams.
There is a steep drop off from 4 to 5. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but I'm just saying, plus 1,000 to make it 6 in a row.
This
I
will
feel like
this will be one bet where I'm like, I won't even sweat it.
I mean, just for the parody of it, I gotta throw half a unit on it.
Sure. Okay.
But we'll think of some sort of punishment.
Okay. We'll pick it up next week.
When the time comes.
We'll pick it up next week. Think about it.
All right.
Will, bring us up.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much for listening and watching. We really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the foliage behind me. But yeah, thank you to the Trend Center as well. Shout out. Link in the description. 15% off a premium membership when you use the code TFTM. The greatest tool on the planet for sports bettors. We're gonna be doing it all summer with the MLB now in full swing. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, follow us and everything for daily picks, and we'll see you next week. There's 3 of us. Now let's make some money. Woo! Woo!